Hi. Well, if you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know that for the past few months I've been concentrating on flying the Cessna 185 Skywagon amphibian. That's actually quite a complex and heavy aircraft to fly. So I must say, it was a real pleasure to get back to basics and back into this PA-18 Super Cub. It really is a much simpler aircraft to fly. There's no constant speed propeller, for example. A little bird told me that the restaurant on the lake at Biscarrosse had reopened for the season, so I invited Stéphane to go there for lunch. The restaurant is called Le Ponton, or the Pontoon in English, and it's situated on the edge of the lake, just next to the Seaplane Museum. You can get there by car, by bus, or by bicycle. But what better way to arrive at this restaurant than in a seaplane? We're actually allowed to beach right in front of it. Obviously, we have to respect some of the rules of the water. That's one of the interesting things about flying a seaplane. It's part aircraft, part car, and part boat. We have to land quite a way away from the shore for safety reasons. We can then water taxi to the 300-meter mark, which is indicated by those yellow buoys around the lake, and from then on, we have to go dead slow until we get to the beach. I didn't water taxi for very long, because with the nose-high attitude of the aircraft whilst doing this, it's very hard or almost impossible to see obstacles in front of you. I decided to slow down, to drop the water rudders, and to take it nice and easy until I reached the shoreline. It's not just the swimmers and boats and fishermen we have to avoid, it's also these banks of reeds. As we approach the shoreline, our aircraft is now considered to be a boat. That means removing our headsets, switching off the radio, opening the door and preparing for landing. At this point, we really have to pay attention to the wind direction and speed, because we're basically drifting towards the beach, and in a few seconds, we'll be cutting the engine completely. Stéphane climbs out of the aircraft and steps onto the float, making sure he stays behind the wing strut for safety reasons.
Okay.
He needs to be on the outside of the aircraft to act very quickly in case we start to drift in the wrong direction. In the worst case scenario, he'll have to jump in the water.
Ok, je coupe tout.
Right.
Ok. Bon, j'en monte les serpents.
Les batteries et magnéto.
Les matins sont coupés déjà.
Super.
This was quite a comical moment when our friend Patrick, who'd come to join us, told me that the restaurant I'd phoned and booked was not actually this restaurant, but another restaurant in a different town.
Bon.
To be fair, the restaurant I did call is also called Le Ponton. And when I said I was going to be arriving in a seaplane, they didn't seem to bat an eyelid. So, easy mistake to make.
Ok, faites votre spectacle, s'il vous plaît, monsieur.
As luck would have it, the restaurant was open and they were able to serve us some delicious local oysters and some prawns. After that, it was time to head back.
Ouais, ça doit-
If you look very closely, you'll notice that the flaps have been fully extended. We use them a bit like a boat uses a sail, to catch the wind, to pull us away from the shore.
Démarreur.
So once again, thanks very much to the restaurant Le Ponton at Biscarrosse Lake. Sorry to the other restaurant Le Ponton in Cap Ferret. I should have called to cancel afterwards, but I forgot.
Bah, nickel.
Ouais, je vais essayer de m'attacher.
Before we go, some good news about the Foxtrot Hotel Bravo. This was one of our PA-18s from Aquitaine Hydravions that suffered a structural failure during a landing on the lake, and this was the result. Well, I'm very glad to say that Rudy and his team have been working round the clock to get the aircraft back into pristine condition. It looks fantastic and should be back in the air again next week. See you next time.